Previously, on the last video, I documented 3 quick one autoflowers. Now, jokes aside, I documented 3 quick one autoflowers from seed to flower, while also continuing the early journey for these 2 OG Kush photo periods. The video was really about building the setup, learning through the mistakes, and showing how the grow is actually happening or happened. I also unboxed the setup for the Vivosun 2x7, I think it was a 2.7 by 2.7 or 3x3, whichever. It's close to a 3x3. And by the end of the video, the autos had reached their finish, but the OG Kush plants still had time to grow or still were growing. This is an educational video. Contents are for adults 21 years of age or older. We're legal. Nothing is for sale. I'm not providing any sources. I'm only documenting my grow. We're transferring here one of the OG Kush that were in a starter pot. Usually like to try to moisten the top of the soil before I actually put the seedling or the, like it's sort of seedling, you could say, in a new pot, so that it has some kind of moisture for the roots that are already in the soil from the starter pot to actually attach or find some new soil to reach. After I transplant the plant into a new pot, I also go in and water the top of the soil as if I would have watered the soil or the pot if it was in a single pot. It wasn't further into the soil, so we had to get a little bit into there. Unfortunately, dig a little bit more deeper and try to get that there soil at the same height as the new soil, if that makes a little bit sense. But same grow, same journey, we're still learning. And that's really what it's all about, or what this channel has been about for me. I'm not trying to look at it like that I have everything figured out, just documenting the process, learning as I go, and trying to improve one grow at a time. So if you're here and you stumbled upon this video, you came to the right place. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that bell notification. Let me know in the comments below what you are growing right now. And this is the next chapter in that so-called journey with these 2 OG Kush plants. From repotting and setting up the new scrog, to flipping into flower, to checking trichomes and seeing how the final plant turns out from start to finish. Occasionally you're going to see little snippets or little clips from the last grow in this grow, and that's, like I said before, every grow that I have is a continuation from the last grow. So whenever you see something like from the last video, I'll reference, hey, this is from the last video, as I said before. So most of the things in there is going to be from the last video until I can get more space for a dedicated space for specific grows. Because at this moment, it's like I'm growing multiple grows in one tent. And it's all fine and dandy, but at the same time, it gets a little bit hard to document each grow without giving them their own space. And we're back in the tent here. We just transplanted both of the OG Kushes into 1-gallon pots. They're looking well. They look like they've taken to the soil. This grow taught me a lot, and somewhere along the way I started realizing photoperiods might actually be more my speed right now than autoflowers. So let's keep that story going. But what's up, everybody? This your boy, the Cosmic Cultivator. Welcome back to another video. The video is direct continuation from the last grow video, and we're following the 2 OG Kush photo periods further along their journey. Within the last hour or two, late water today, but hey, we're gonna be repotting this right here, this OG Kush, to a new pot tomorrow. I already repotted the OG Kush 1. This is number 2. This is number 3. This one has a little bit of everything: transplanting to a bigger pot, adding in a scrog net, flipping the flower, upgrading parts of the plant, previewing the next tint, unboxing more gear, and finally getting into seeing how the plant looked near the end when I was checking trichomes and deciding where I wanted it to take it, or where if the plant was finished or not. I'm just documenting the process, learning from my mistakes and finding out what I like and trying to get better at each run. We're here to transplant her. I was thinking to myself earlier, I'm like, you're looking like you need to be transplanted. I'm seeing some lower deficiencies right now, and it's better just to transplant it now while we have the chance to. So we're going from a 1 gallon pot to, I believe this is a 2.8 or 3 gallon pot that I got from Menards when I went to Menards just as a outing, or just to go look at some wood, some pieces, you know. That was a different story. We're getting off track here, but we're transplanting from a 1 gallon to a nearly 3 gallon pot just because we didn't have any other grow bags in service or grow pots in service at the moment. And I felt that it was easier for me to transplant pots or transplant plants from using plastics versus using fabrics. And this is a common theme that we got going on here, that I'm using pots with less soil space or less area for the plant to expand to, because at the moment I'm not prepared. It's like I was like, you know what, we're just gonna do it. We don't got time, we're just gonna have to do it right now. So for this one, we didn't have enough pots and we didn't have enough soil for this plant, so I tried to make do with what we had, because at this moment in time I was still ordering soil from Fleet Farm. And if you know anything about ordering soil from online, you know it gets pricey, and you get random soil or random kind of quality soil from different places from online. You don't know how long it's been sitting, or what the soil's been through. So I've still been getting soil at this point offline, and at the moment I'm still running short on soil. So as you can see, I'm still doing what you should not do: compact the soil in a pot, because it's going to be harder for the roots to reach out and search for actual soil, because there's no air pockets or space between the soil. But also, on a side note, when you water your plants in, the soil compacts the dirt as well. So I don't know, it's like a catch-22, I guess. It's a catch, like, what am I supposed to do about that, right? But we're looking well after the transplant. It's about a week now since we transplanted her, and she's taken off. Like, buddy, look at this. Whoa, settle down, lady. You got things going on for you here. But she's looking well. She's loving life. I need to go back to these techniques, because right now I don't know what's going on. We got a little bit of deficiencies going on with my grow that I got here. But we're just checking out. I just chopped or topped the plant right there to try to make another flowering site, because right now we don't really have any spots to actually bring this plant to anything, because the other tent is taking up space. But as you can tell, we got like trichomes or something like that forming on the leaf structure itself. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. It's like crystals. Again, we have these plants and these seeds from the company that we've been rocking and rolling with for the last year and a half. I'm coming into this video with these two OG Kush plants. We're already underway from the last episode, or the last grow videos. We got two beautiful ones going here, two beautiful OGs. One is 1 month behind, so we got this is 2 months old, and it's been vegging for about 2 months. This has been vegging for about 30 days. We have these here right there, so if you want to check that out, that would be so grateful. As you can tell, it looks kind of red, purplish, and the other plant next to it is green, lime green, yellow. And these are the two same plants, but I've got different results, which is dope. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave a little annotation right here. So we gotta get in here, start Maybe we gotta repot this too. I don't know. This looks like it's needing some repotting soon. To be quite honest with you. It looks like it needs to be repotted. Is this flowering? And it's flowering too. That's weird. Look, it's flowering. This is OG. This is not an autoflower. Why is it flowering? Look, we got another pistil right here. We know it's a female. What if it's her Hermie right here? Well, it just started bouncing back and like getting bigger. I don't know. See, it's flowering though, as you can see. That's weird. But like I was saying, right here we have the OG. We got the OG Kush. That's about, I don't know, 10 weeks in. This was topped only one time. I should lower it. And this, at this point, I was really watching how they were developing, how they were handling the environment, and how the whole experience felt compared to running mostly autos from about a year, for about a year, maybe a year and a half. With autos, it always felt like we're running out of time or moving fast. Like something went wrong, I had to react immediately because the plant was already on its own timeline. But with these photos, it felt like I had a little more time to breathe, a little bit more room for them to shape and grow, and more room for them to recover from the mistakes that I had done to them. Update. Got an update. We are day 6 in flower. We are in the 2.7 grow tint with 2 OG Kush in here. The main one, which is this one right here in the front, is bigger than the one in the back, which is the reason why we had to put 2 in here, because they were both big and I didn't have any space to like hold 2 mother plants. So instead I ended up right here. One thing I wanted to improve along the way is how closely I could monitor the tint's environment. So I added in the Vivosun E42 or the E42 controller into the tint setup. Clone should be fun. A lot of the time, growing isn't really about making huge dramatic changes. It's more about catching little things early before they become big things. That's one of the reasons growers pay so much attention to temperature, humidity, and airflow throughout the run. Those environmental changes affect how plants behave through veg, flower, and even drying later on. This was another one of those moments where the grow started feeling more intentional. The goal here wasn't to overcomplicate anything. I just wanted to start managing the canopy better to create more of an even space across the tint. And that's really the point of training and netting in general. Opening up the plant, creating a flattened canopy, and helping more light reach more sites more evenly. A lot of growers use low stress training for that same reason, to shape the plant without causing major stress. And if you ever put up a trellis net the first time, you already know it always seems easier in your head than it does once you start standing there actually trying to get it lined up to how you actually want it. And we got to look at the next grow. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have another grow going. We still have our first OG plant or OG Kush plant in veg with some more autoflowers and another grow tent. We're back in the tent now, just checking it out back in the tent here, just looking at how the canopy is looking a day later, 2 days later, I believe. at this and that was the moment where the plant really gets started, or what it really feels like it's actually starting to look like it's actually a plant with photoperiods. Or for the ones that have been watching users online or people online that we've seen back in the 2020 2021 era, where for me that's where I started actually researching how to grow. And I thought maybe photoperiods were the difficult ones and autoflowers were the easier ones, so I started doing autoflowers. Little I don't know that I was doing the opposite, because at this point veg is more important. Veg is important, obviously, but flipping your flower is where everything starts shifting. The plant starts moving into a new phase. Your mindsets change a little, and you're really waiting to see what kind of structure and flower development you're going to get. Slightly watering, and I'm still with this here watering jug or watering canteen that I got from Vivosun as well through Amazon. A lot of people say make sure you're getting it through the actual site as well, because you probably would get unused items. But from purchasing or from my own experience, I've gotten things from Amazon, open from Vivosun sellers, and directly from Vivosun themselves. I've gotten items that were open. Stay tuned for the next video on that, because I pre-ordered an item before it came out and it arrived open or signs of use. But we're getting off track. With photoperiods or photoperiod plants indoors, this stage is triggered by switching your plants from the 18 to 6 to a 12-hour on, 12 hours off cycle, which is one of the major differences compared to autoflowers. Autoflowers tend to flower autoly. You don't even need to worry about time, or you don't even need to worry about lighting. It would just do it on its own. And I'm coming mostly from running autoflowers. I'm not gonna lie, the part felt kind of refreshing, not worrying about when the plant is gonna flower, how it's gonna flower, or do I gotta worry about this or that. With photoperiods, it's a little bit easier, and I got to decide when they were ready to move in instead of the plant deciding for me. I think that's been one of the biggest themes of this channel for me so far, is not showing some fake version where everything always goes exactly right, but showing the process slowly improving, upgrading piece by piece, learning piece by piece, making mistakes, fixing them along the way, missing others, then coming back to the next run a little bit more smarter. And honestly, I feel like that's more relatable in my opinion. Most of us are not out here building some dream setup overnight. We're adding things where we can learn what matters and trying to make the next grow a little bit better than it was last time.
We are in the 2.7 grow tent with 2 OG Kush here. The main one, which is this one right here in the front, is bigger than the one in the back, which is the reason why we had to put 2 in here, because they were both big and I didn't have any space to like hold 2 mother plants. So instead I ended up keeping one more plant right here that is going to be my mother plant, and I'm going to just start taking clones off from it and trying to clone. So yeah, stay tuned for that video, me attempting to clone. Should be fun.
That was started in the last video, and this grow keeps moving forward right on until the next grow. So we're just going to continuously keep growing and going until the next video, That sounds like a record, but we do have some new followers that always come through, so we got to make sure that we do say these things so that we can actually establish what we do in these videos. Or why am I constantly doing the same thing over and over and over? It's because if it's not broken, don't fix it. I'm just practicing, or you could say I'm just practicing grows, for lack of better terms. I'm just testing these grows out, seeing what works, what doesn't work. These two, they started on the last video. The one thing that I really loved about documenting these grows like this is that one video leads to the next, and over time it starts to feel like one long story or a journey. From autos to now taking on photoperiods.
All right, we just re-amended the topsoil with Power Bloom 284 and some more all-purpose 444 with a little bit of the wiggle worm, pure worm castings.
This is what it's looking like so far after 3 days in flower. I guess it's gonna possibly be flipping this back to veg, since we did have a little thrip action going on here. I don't know. Yeah. But we got oops. It moved, damn it. Oh well. We got our camera right here. Eventually in the future I'll get the actual camera for that, but for now we'll go with this. I saw the new Vivosun camera going for only $44 right now, or some shit like that. I don't know, but it's going for $44. And comparing an actual dedicated camera for growing compared to an iPhone for growing, sounds like it's a little bit better deal. I don't know. That's something I might end up getting soon in the future, maybe 50 years from now, maybe 2,000 months, 2,000 days.
This grow started teaching me patience in a different way. Along the way, I kept upgrading things, learning in real time, and trying to build a setup that helped me grow a little bit smarter every round. We're here back in the tent, checking things out right when the lights had cut on, just to see what we can do. Tuck leaves, check to see if the soil needs to be moistened, if it needs to be watered. It just sounds weird. Moist, a moist plant. Nah, it is getting a little bit lengthy. It's over here touching the wall as well. So we do got wall to wall structure. I don't know how to describe it. We just have wall to wall. The plant is wall to wall. And we gotta watch for actual humidity pockets or some form of humidity actually occurring on the walls, because since the plant is a little bit too close to the wall or on the wall, it will create some kind of like wet pockets that had occurred before. So I'm just checking just to make sure it's not like that. A few days later, checking it out. Anybody has those things where they go, oh, I gotta check it out again. Let me check it out again. I just checked it out earlier. I'm still gonna look. But yeah, that's how I am sometimes.
OG Kush, week 2 in flower. It's looking beautiful. You do gotta come through and probably put like some bars in to keep these buds from hitting the walls or something. I don't know what's going on with it, but there was I had doubts that it would stretch, and whoa.
Just checking on her, see how things are going, how the structure is actually stacking, and also just to get you guys some B-roll or some extra eyes.
Structure of it looking beautiful, and these are the new growths. Got to come in here and start trimming off some of these leaves so they can get to the bottom. Like this one needs to go. That one's fine because that one is attached to something we need. That is something we need, but this can go up here. Let's see, what else are we looking at?
Sometimes it's good to use this as well.
As you can tell, I actually broke some of the branches, or maybe bent them a little bit too far that they did snap. But I did use the net to hold them up, or some of these wires, or what is it? Yeah, the gardening wires, to help them up or prop them up right, so they did take to the bending. So next time we gotta be a little bit more careful. We got a little bit lucky this time.
That one's needed. So I guess I'll just take off this part down here like that and leave the stick because it's needed to hold this damn branch down.
In the last video, we tried doing that with low stress training with some clips, and it snapped off the main shoot. So on this grow this time, we did the same thing with the scrog net, but we didn't break anything, but we bent stuff. It healed back a little bit stronger and harder. And here we are. We're looking good. We have growth, beautiful growth, new growth, looking green. A little bit of burnt tips here and there, but we're running all organic here at this point. The only thing that was done with the plant was transplanting it to a different pot until we got to this point, and we've been using Gaia Green nutrients, the 444, and now we're using 444 and 284. In the future, we're gonna have to need some top dressing as well while in flower, and we're gonna be still top dressing with just some 284. I'm constantly finding myself coming in and just tucking things back, or cutting some leaves, or chopping leaves off.
Down here, see if there's any new growth happening down here. Nothing new down here. We're looking a little bit good. This needs to go up. That's what happened. This fell down. That's why it looks like that. Oh, we got a small little bud right there. Got another one right here. Small little buds that would never be. It's coming there. Pinch it. Pull. Whoa. Down here as well. Oh, this is a good time to clone right here. That's a good clone right there. I'll clone that one soon. Like right here too. Small little buds growing in down here.
Some of the grows I've done, I just left the plant to grow, and it just got really, really leafy or bushy. I just left it as is, thinking if I take too much off, the plant won't grow. So usually I would just take a little bit off here and there. Down to the point where I think that some of the pieces need to be removed off the plant in order for the plant to actually develop faster, or develop better, not faster. Oh, I just sneezed early. Apologies. There we go. Looking clean. Coming up in here and just cleaning up lower growth. That's about it. The only thing I can do. And I got myself a garden wire here because the plant looked like it was splitting a little bit too far. That the plant actually formed a knuckle over at the, I believe it was the topping point of the plant where we topped it. Those two spots of the plant started breaking apart and splitting in the Y formation. I was like, oh crap, what am I gonna do to fix this? So I grabbed a gardening wire right here, or yeah, some gardening wire, and I tightened them together over it, and it created a knuckle as well, and the plant is doing well.
Get that larf out of here. Get the larf out of here, baby boy, baby girl.
What's this one looking like over here? Okay, that's nice. What's this looking like down here? Okay, that's nice. Okay, okay. Tuck it in, tuck some leaves down. Looking well. Coming in through here and just still pushing things down, tucking things back. Just trying to get myself an even canopy. We're almost there. Straight even Stevens canopy, baby. Also, I want to get a new tent as well. Maybe get a new 3x3. That's just in the future, because this tent right here has a lot of light leakage from this here Velcro the Zazzy tint. Here's the light leak, and all the lights are out, and we're still seeing some light leakage. So I know that all tints have this as well, but this one has it badly. That's a lot of light bleeding. So that's why I'm thinking that this tint right here would be best for an extra tint where we just use it for maybe just starting seeds as well. Because we do have our 2x2 that we possibly would use in the near future, and then we'll substitute that 2.7 by 2.7 tint, the Pro Tint by Vivosun. We still have that in the other room. We can also take that tint out and bring it into this room here. Take the Zazzy tint out, bring it into the veg room or seedling room.
We had a super stretch I wasn't expecting. But like everybody says, the stretch is gonna come.
We got one plant over here to the left looking for the light, reaching for the stars. No, jokes aside, we're looking beautiful in the tent. We got a lot of greenery, lime green as well for the flowering structure. Again, I'm not a pro at this. I'm just some guy over here trying to get better at growing just as best as I can. Any tips and tricks that you've garnished along the way will also help me to become a better grower, and also me becoming a better content creator. Here we go, we're watering in the plant now. I'm to the point where I'm believing that I should just water this plant without that spray nozzle. It's all nice and dandy with it, but it's inefficient because it takes so long to water that I'll be standing here for like 15 minutes just watering with the jug slowly. If it's multiple plants, let me correct that. If there's multiple plants, but if there's 2 plants, it would usually take me around like 3 minutes, 4 minutes per plant. We're back here the next day. Still thinking about how I can tuck this one down, or should I just leave it? Because it looks like it's blocking sights and the plants are getting all tangled up and stuff and whatnot. But this is the best thing to do to help your plant grow better or have it build better structure flowers, is to use the scrog net. But it also brings another problem, is how am I going to get this net off? Do I just chop it up or how am I going to reuse it? Because I want to reuse it, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be efficient for me to try to weave all the plants through each square column there. Yeah, this is nice. Super windy. Apologize for the wind. For future reference, I will turn off the fans when I actually get into the tent and record. That's one thing that I should start doing, is turning off the fans so that I can record, so that we don't have too much of the fan noise blowing into the microphone. We came through, cleaned up the canopy, and now she's looking well. Watering her in, using the same canteen technique. It's not doing much of the difference, but at the same time, it's not harming the plant. Before, we had some issues where there was some deficiencies with the plant, and it turned out it was the watering canteen, but at this time it wasn't. In this video, it's in the future, where there was issues with the watering canteen not having enough adequate space to dry out, so it accumulated a lot of moisture inside of the canteen and created mold. So we had to stop using that, and we started using hand watering pails. That one was a little bit messed up, so we had to go to a different size watering pit. Man, it was a lot of work to where we're at right now, but we're getting off track. We have a package from eBay. I wonder what it is. Nice. We have here the Vivosun A100SE. We're going to be adding to the next grow. Stay tuned for that. We see a little bit of dinging in it, some box damage, so hopefully there's nothing damaged with the light. Yeah, it looks like we have everything here, all accounted for. In my opinion, these are probably one of the best hooks or light hooks that you can have. Light hanging material? Sheesh. I don't know. We got everything here except for the USB-C cover. And this is a little bit of a video of me pairing the actual unit itself to the 2x2 or the 2.7x2.7. We got a little dirtiness on there, so before we even use it, we're gonna go through and clean off the light using some cleaning wipes or disinfecting wipes. There we go. Give it a name after it's paired. We're just gonna call this here, I don't know, 3x3 to keep it simple. Just because the 2.7x2.7, a little bit too much. We'll go through and check to see if the light actually works. Nice. And then circulation of the middle fan. That's the main reason why I wanted to get these fans. I know it's like a gimmick, is a thing like that, but it also saves on having to buy an extra fan, and also just provides us with more air movement in the tent. Constant air movement in the tent also provides better fresh air flow through the tent. I don't know how to describe it without being technical with it. And then we attach the probe in, and this is the readings that we're getting. Beautiful unit. All right, we got the actual unit itself out. So for this, we're just going to be taking the E42 controller, and we're going to be attaching it to the Zazzy tent for now. And the light is going to be used for a different setup. Stay tuned if that's interesting to you and you want to see that. Stay tuned for that video. Of course, I'm still watering in with this here watering can. I figured if it's not broken, don't even fix it, because as of now, the plant is doing well. It's liking the way I'm feeding it. If it was showing any signs of like any deficiencies, I would have probably stopped feeding it and maybe fed it more. But this is where we're at for now. We're just gonna be here hand watering it with this watering can. I believe for the next 2-3 grows now. We've been using it. It helps. So if it's, like I said, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. Back in the tent, let's see what the plant is looking like. Lights out. Structures doing well, stacking nicely. Super hairy out the wazoo though. Look like chin hair. Sweet chin music. Yeah, jokes aside, we're back in the tent looking at what she looks like in the dark. We're back the next day, and we open up the tent all the way because we just want to see what she's looking like from all angles. Like her angle, no, but we're looking at her from all angles, trying to see what she's looking like. And she's looking well. The structure's doing well, better as can be. We're in a Zazzy 2.7x2.7 tent using a Vivosun A100SE, and we're getting some results like this. Either it's the seeds, the person, or the light, or a combination of all. We're here back at topping it with some 284 and some worm castings per the directions of the container. When top dressing it, we're using the directions per the directions on the container. So your container may vary in size. Just look at the listing or read the back of the container and you shall receive your answer of how much nutrients you should be adding into your soil. That's one of the things that complicated growing a lot, is that I didn't know the ratios of what to add in the soil. I just guessed over time. But we're back after topping the soil 3 days later. And my, we're looking well. She looked like she's taken nicely to the top dressing and didn't get any shock or any kind of stress from me messing up the soil, topsoil, whatnot. And we still got our freaking leaves over here touching. There's nothing that we can do about that. We're at the point of no return. Try to turn down the light ISO of the phone. So if you see that the lights keep changing like this is because I'm changing the ISO, the brightness of the phone's brightness, so I can see what it looks like with a little bit of light off, or the brightness of the light lowered. I don't know, is this supposed to look like this, all droopy looking? I don't know. But we are at about 70-80% brightness at the max height that we can achieve in this here tint. At the moment we're seeing some browning of the pistils, but it doesn't really matter because even the slight breeze of a wind can make the pistils turn brown. So we're not really looking at the pistils or judging the plant's maturity on the pistils, because we're judging the plant on its maturity using the trichomes. But for now, we're just stacking and we're just watching the plant grow. We do have time lapse of this as well, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming. Beautiful. We also put a bunch of traps down just for precaution, just in case there's actual gnats or some kind of bugs flying around down there. They can just get stuck to that there mat. But we're back here 3 days later. It seems like we're here. It's like a normal thing where I'm here checking in on the tent now every 3 days, 2-3 days. Since we're in flower, there's nothing that needs to be had or done to the plant, but sit here and watch it grow and stack and just move structures around and get more light penetration. I don't know. We are seeing a lot of green growth, if that makes sense. I don't know, what is that like? The plant is still going through some kind of veg while still in flower, or is it still in its stage where it's trying to reach or grow in the flower stage? You know, like in the flower stage where it's gonna grow another 2-3 weeks before it stops the stretch. Well, it looks like it's still in its phase of the stretch, and we're about 5 weeks in now. So has anybody ever experienced that, where the plant is still stretching and growing while in flower and it's supposed to stop? I'll tell you what, the last grow we just did as well, man, that one wouldn't stop. That one was almost to the ceiling. The plant was nearly 8 feet tall. So stay tuned for that as well. We're back again. 3 more days. We're seeing less and less of the pistil length and more of the plants flowering, bulking. So hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we can get her out. Well, maybe we'll check the trichomes here. We're seeing a lot of milky. I'm seeing some ambering as well. Not too much of the actual clear. That's what we like. So looking at the pistils is not one of the things we want to look at when determining the maturity of a plant. We also have to focus on the coloring of the trichomes. I'll leave a little difference here on the screen, but here's the things that we're looking for. We're looking for kind of like a milky look and an amber look right here. We still have a little bit of clearing or clear trichomes, but majority of the color here we're seeing is cloudy and some ambering. And that's the thing we're going to see more, is some cloudy. I'm fine with seeing some ambering, but I really want to see more of the plant milk cloudy and a little bit of some ambering. as a plant matures, it will go past this maturity with ambering. So if you also have a plant that is a little bit too past its state, the ambers or the trichome amberings would turn a little bit more darker brown in coloring for its trichomes. But this is the bottom, way bottom of the plant. I just wanted to test out the bottom of the plant to see what it's looking like underneath. The top of the canopy was showing some ambering. The middle was showing some ambering, and now we're at the lower part of the plant. We're seeing a little bit of ambering, more crystally clear looking. Right, let's try this again. We're looking fairly well here. A lot of milkiness here. We do see one or two ambering, but that's about it. That's the one we're just looking at. So, in my opinion, we're looking like we're almost done. We're gonna give this about another week. Maybe. We could go longer, yeah. But this right here is still a learning experience for me. Beautiful structures. Like, look at this plant. This is probably one of the best grows I've had so far, and we only gotten 2 plants. Before, we would have like 7, 6 autoflowers growing at once, and we wouldn't even get this amount of results from that. And it only stems from these are photoperiods. And photoperiods go through a little bit more stress, and they can bounce back from it. Once you get an autoflower going through stress, for some reason it decides that it wants to flower on its own, or from my experience, it decides that it wants to flower on its own. And now we're stuck with an autoflower probably like 3 inches, 5 inches tall. We're back in the tent another 2 days, 3 days later, still trying to determine if the plant is ready. We're starting to see some weird foxtailing, but it's whatever. It looks like it's foxtailing. Let's retract that. We got some weird growth going on here, and it looks like it's foxtailing. But now we're seeing a lot of the browning of the pistils. And as before, we're not judging the plant on its pistils, but its trichome structure or color. Whoa. And we're back here another 3 days later. And when we're looking well, she's doing lovely. There's nothing much that we can do besides just watering. Plain pH 6.5 to 6.8.
These babies are praying to the sky. I don't know why, but this back one does not need any water for some apparent reason. We're nearing the end of stages of flower here. This is my first time growing photoperiods. So, I don't know, what do you guys think? How did it turn out? First time growing photoperiod. 2 plants, 1 tent. Usually, I would do 4 plants, 1 tent. Before that, I was like 5 plants, 1 tent. 6 plants, 1 tent. Now we're down to 2. And my goal now is to do 1 plant, 1 tent. For those that are sticking with me and you know what's been going on in these last videos or series that we've been doing. We also got ourselves a Vivosun 4x4 tent as well. Hopefully we get enough to upgrade to another light, but this is what we got so far. This right here is ready to be transplanted to a new pot anytime now. So I might give it another top dressing because we still have this one that is not finished yet, and we need it to finish, but we're still like 2 weeks out. I don't know, I want to give it more time, but we're a little bit like 2 weeks out in my opinion. Like a Frosty the snowman. Look at that one back there. Frostinator. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for sticking with me. Even the like bottom larf buds that I can see. This is probably the smallest one. I forgot to pick it off, but it's too late now. Yeah, but look at this one. That's a pretty decent size right there. Look at it. Look at this one right here. That's a decent size right there. In comparison to a finger, that's a pretty good size. Larf. There's another larf right there. Look how tiny that is, but big at the same time. Cool. Look at them. Popcorns everywhere. Yeah, I don't know, I'll get better. First time growing photos. I'm not really like used to this. I'm just used to the add the water, let it grow kind of autoflower technique. But I'm just experimenting just for you guys out here, man. For all y'all out there who want to know or trying to guess or like wonder, that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to put all these theories to the test on how to grow better or what will help grow better. This was vegging for about 84 days. In total, before I flipped it, was 100 and I think 5 days or so. I don't know, I gotta go back and check. I'll leave it down here. It's been in veg before I flipped it to flower. And then we got ourselves this here that's been in veg for about, I don't even know now, 125 days now in total. We went and topped this one twice, as you can tell in the mid. Well, you can't tell, but there's a top now. There's a top right there, and then I topped it right back there, and another top all the way in the back behind those plants. You can't even see it, but it's back there somewhere, right there, right on yonder. But this was a top the total of 2 times, and it's ready to flip to another pot or flip to flower. So this is going to be my 1 pot of OG Kush in a 1/10 kind of situation. I don't know. Had a brain fart there. But that's what I've been up to, ladies and gents. I appreciate y'all for checking out this video, wondering what's happening, whatnot, what have you.
It felt like the next chapter started to come into view before this one was even over. That's kind of how this whole journey has been. One grow teaches me what I want to improve, and that improvement starts showing up before the current run is even finished. And I feel like the grow was and I feel like a lot of the growers can relate to this. Sometimes you're not just buying equipment for what you're doing right now. Sometimes you're buying for the future grows. Canopy work early on can really start showing what really matters. A more even canopy can make the whole tent feel more balanced and visually. It's just nice seeing the plant use the space well. And there's always the point in the flower where you open the tent, instead of you just seeing the plant growing, you start seeing the finish line taking shape. When I decided that the plant was ready for me. And at that moment, are the moments where every grower kind of has one of those things on their mind. Do they make the call or not? Could you have gone a little bit longer? Maybe. Could have gone a little bit longer? Maybe. But for me, it felt like this was the right place. Like, based on the trichomes we're looking and overall feel of the plant.
Week 10 in flower.
Trichomes are one of the main visual cues growers use to judge maturity, because those resin glands change appearance as the plant matures. We have a temperature of 76 and humidity of 41. That's only just because we have the tent open. Normally we are looking around 78 to 79 degrees and around 50% humidity. Unfortunately, I can't prevent this, or I couldn't stop this plant from rubbing against the sidewall of the tent. But hey, can't
It's going through
complain.
its natural phase of stripping nutrients from the plant as it's getting towards the end of flower. Yeah, that just came off easy. I just touched it and it came off. There's another one back here.
At this moment, we're just coming into the tent and clearing up some of these dead leaves, or leaves that are not really producing any nutrients for the plant. Nice. Looking kind of greenish, light lime green, blue. I read up online that if your plant is a little bit bluish, dark greenish in your leaves, that's because your plant is over nitrogen. It has too much nitrogen. So possibly we have too much nitrogen in the plant, but at the same time, we are heading towards the end of flower. So that could also be the possibility, the reason why the plant is looking kind of greenish blue. Again, this is our first photoperiod, and they're looking very well. What are you growing right now? When have you started using autos first, or did you start using photos first? I know some people say it doesn't do nothing for the plant. Don't do all that 2 days thing, blah blah blah. In my opinion, it's not a big deal for me. I'll just try it out. It's not hurting me. It's not. I don't know. It's not hurting the plant, in my opinion. I don't know. I haven't even seen anything different from trying to put it in 2 days darkness and not putting in 2 days darkness. There's no difference at all, because I've tried both the procedures, and it's not a big deal for me. I'm just gonna do it just because. And we're back here. Chop day. One of the things that most of us regret doing, because we don't want to chop down our plants, because we took all this time and all this energy to put into the plant to help it grow, and now we're at the end. This is the end of the flower. We're at the spot where we're now chopping it down, and I decided that we're not even going to save the scrog net. We're just going to chop it down as well, because we have too much going on here that the plant won't be able to sustain itself, or I won't even be able to get it out of the scrog net without having the plant be destroyed. So I'd rather just destroy the scrog net, spend a little bit extra money in the future, and get another net. Spend a little bit of extra money in the future and get another net. Not a big deal. And then I was like, oh man, forgot we need some kind of way to hang up these things as well once we cut it down. So wow, gotta go out there and grab something right quick. And look at how she's looking. Straight, like leafy, bushy. I could have did a lot of maintenance on this plant, and the flowering sites probably would have turned out a little bit better. And that's a lot of thing that I can work on in the future. But for now, you live and you learn, and you make mistakes and you learn from your mistakes. That's the one thing you can hope for in life. Make your mistakes, learn from them, grow from it. Nice. We're gonna go on ahead and start wet trimming her down just to test it out to see if cutting her up a little bit and getting all the sides of the areas where there's too much leafing or leaves are at, so that we can clear it up, and when it's time for trimming we have less leaves. But at the same time, slow and steady wins the race, as they say. And with growing and drying, when you dry your flower, it is also recommended to dry it as fast. It is also recommended to dry it as long as possible. And sometimes drying it all the way whole with the actual plant chopped down, hanging it, and drying it is the most efficient way. But also at the same time, if you don't have proper airflow through the tent, then you also create an area where you encounter mold or also mildew in the tent. So you have to also account for that when you're also drying your tent. When you're also drying your plant. The moments where every grower kind of has one of those things on their mind. Do they make the call or not? Could you have gone a little bit longer? Maybe. Could have gone a little bit longer? Maybe. But for me, it felt like this was the right place. Like, based on the trichomes we're looking and overall feel of the plant, trichomes are one of the main visual cues growers use to judge maturity, because those resin glands change appearance as the plant matures. And I think that's one of the things that I'm learning and that's one of the things I'm learning with photos. There's a little bit more patience involved, but there's a lot more room for personal reference. After running most autoflowers for about a year, this first real photo experience gave me a lot to think about. Autos taught me a lot. They helped me start growing, helped me learn consistency, and taught me how quickly things can change. But photos feel different. They feel a little bit more forgiving in some ways, a little more shapeable, a little more collaborative. And honestly, I think I want to start running more photo periods while continuing getting better at this whole growing thing. Not because autos are bad, and not entirely, not because one is better than the other in any way, but because right now photos feel more like the pace I want to learn at. I also trimmed off extra leaves and spent some of the time thinking about the differences between wet trimming and dry trimming. And from my own experience so far, I've been leaning more towards chopping the plant and having it hung, in more intact leaning, letting it dry slower and trimming more after that. The slow drying seems to lead to an overall experience in trimming everything right up after the plant has been chopped, then drying it after and waiting for it to dry faster. That lines up with a lot of what other growers aim to do during the drying process as well. A slow dry in a cool space with moderate humidity, a general airflow rather than rushing it. Growers often dry whole branches or whole plants specifically to slow the process of the drying or the slow. And honestly, trimming is one of those things that always sounds chill until you're sitting there forever covered in leaf bits, wondering why your back hurts. So some beauty shots of the plants once everything was trimmed up. I was really happy of how it turned out. Could have improved? Absolutely. Will I improve? I hope so. But that's kind of the whole point of this channel. Document the run, learn from it, enjoy the results, then take on the experience into the next tent, the next setup, and the next grow. So this grow really felt like turning point for me. Not because it was perfect, not because I suddenly became some expert grower overnight, but because it helped me understand that I actually enjoyed the process of learning photoperiods, building out the setup more and more, and growing into a way I felt a little more intentional.
I don't know what the hell why I leave that on there for. Oh, that's why I left it on. Trichomes, even on the leaves. I left it on there because it had trichomes on the leaves. Sample this. Smash in your fingers.
That's OG Kush for you. That's the OG Bobby Johnson right there, baby. OG Bobby Johnson. I don't even know where the main shoot's at anymore, to be honest.
This was a continuation of the journey from the last video, and honestly it felt like I started a new phase. We've got a new 4x4 Vivosun Pro Tint coming, we've got new gear to test, we got grows to document, and a lot more to learn. If you've been following along this journey, I appreciate you being here. This is the Cosmic Cultivator, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out. If you made it this long, like, subscribe, drop a comment below. Let me know what you're growing or what is going on in life with you. I also like to know and also read the comments below. And this video was sponsored by me. Shout out to me for this grow. Also shout out to you, the viewer, for also checking out this video, wondering what's happening, whatnot, what have you. Appreciate your support. As always, this is your boy, Cosmic Cultivator. Peace.